Hey Knights, how's it going? Oh. Say hi, Michelle. That's my sister. So, anyways, I guess it's been a couple of weeks since the last video. I told you guys I'd do a video a couple of weeks ago when I got back from Thunder Bay. So we left Ottawa Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. No, Thursday? Wednesday. We left to Thunder Bay. We took us a couple days to get there. We stopped like 8 hours. And now we're on our way back to Ottawa. So where shall we begin? I guess this video will be more dealing with what happened with court and everything. The drive has been long. It's been very, very long. You know, it's 17 hours from Ottawa to Thunder Bay. So yeah, it's very long. But the weather has been good. It's like we're in Sault Ste. Marie right now. It's like, I don't know, 12 o'clock. And yeah, we're gonna do the 9-hour stretch to Ottawa tomorrow. So it's been an interesting trip as far as the court goes. So how should we begin that? I don't even know how to explain all that. One thing, we got some clarification on what actually happened. I mean, from my side of it. I was kind of always a little bit blurry about what actually happened, because remember I was explaining to you guys that in the hospital I lost a complete day. I didn't actually remember the accident when I was in the hospital. I didn't actually start getting memories of the accident until I came back to Ottawa, which was a few months later. I was starting to get bits and pieces and visions and stuff, but I've never been totally clear about what actually happened. I had some, visions and that, but I never had a complete picture. So anyways, this is really, really cool how this happened. So we were on the drive to Thunder Bay, and well, let me tell you what I did remember, and then I'll get to that. So I don't think I've ever said on any of the other videos what I did remember, what I didn't about the accident. I don't think I actually brought that up. I think I might have done it on purpose because I wasn't 100% sure about what had happened. I told you guys what happened in the hospital. My memory was a suicide bullshit, and the hey Donna, how you doing, sweetie? And when the interviews with the cops, I didn't remember. But I don't think I actually clarified about what actually happened what I thought happened in the accident. I'm gonna zoom this. No, I can't zoom it. Anyways, so here's where my beginning thoughts were. So I remember, a massive flash of light, and I wasn't sure if I hit the brakes or slowed down, but that's pretty much all I had. So we'll get to the what happened on the road. We were driving to Thunder Bay, and my sister's beside me, and a tractor trailer was coming towards us, and the lights were like super bright, and that's what I remembered. And he took his high beams off, and it went dark, and it went like lighter. And I yelled at my sister, I'm like, "No, that's exactly what happened. That's what had happened." It all came back to me. So what had happened? The tractor trailer driver must have had his high beams on. That would blinded me, and I don't know whether he was in his lane or in my lane. I know I was in my lane, but he could have been in my lane too. I wouldn't know because the lights were so bright. But I was telling myself that's exactly what happened. It was just like this. It was like everything just became clear. It was like everything, my beings, informed me that's what happened. It was just, because I couldn't, nothing fit. But it's when I seen the truck lights go from high beam to low beam, the difference was like night and day. And it was just, I knew exactly what had happened, So I imagine when the lights were bright, then I, probably slowed down, and then either I skidded into him on his lane and then smacked him, or I hit him head on in my lane. But, I think the tractor drivers, they're professionals, so I find it highly unlikely that he was Excuse me. I think I find it highly unlikely that he was in my lane coming towards me, but I don't find it very unlikely that he didn't have his high beams on, because just on the trip up to Sault Ste. Marie, we were driving at night, and I forgot to shut my high beams off probably 4 times when cars went by. So it's, it's very feasible what I think has happened has actually happened. He forgot to put his high beams on when he was doing whatever, thinking of whatever, and then just didn't, and then didn't realize it. And that blinded me like big time, and caused the accident. So I believe that's what had happened. To to probably 100% degree, maybe 99. Well, maybe not. No, like I'm saying 100. I gotta be, because just the way I felt, everything just felt so right. It was just like a flash of memory. So, anyways, let's get to the court. So, like, I show up there, like I did. Like I remember I was telling you guys I couldn't afford a lawyer or anything like that. So, I got some lawyers' advice and that to kind of give me some kind of indication what I was in for, but I didn't really get too many specifics. So I go there. And they had a court services. So I said, Michelle, let's just go in there and just ask some questions. And they gave me some more clarification on what I had to expect. So the way it works is, like, I was really we'll get to that later. So the way it works is I had to show up for my date. Well, actually, what I had to do first, sorry guys, I'm back and forth here. Like I said, I'm just ad-libbing this. You guys know me, right? So sorry for going back and forth. So I had to show up just outside of Thunder Bay to a police detachment to get fingerprinted and processed for this charge of dangerous driving. And it was funny, the scanner didn't work, and I was actually helping the cop make it work better, because you have to moisten your hands and you have to press and roll. And so it was a big production. So I was there for about an hour before the courthouse. So that was that. So I get to the courthouse, and we're in the courtroom, and I spoke to duty counsel previously, and I had heard that that's who you speak to when you're there, and they'll help guide you through the proceedings. So I talked to one briefly, and I told him just the situation, and he told me what to do once again the court, because they have their proceedings. So he informed me what I need to tell the judge at the time. And at that time, the priority was to get my next court date as far as possible, so I can get the schooling done, and work out my other financial stuff. So the judge was like, they don't use, like, normally you would have your next court date 2 weeks, 3 weeks max after your first appearance, right? And the judge was kind enough, very kind enough, and I thanked them there for allowing me to get my next date till October 27th. Now, that gives me time to finish my school, get my, graduate, get a job. I still probably might lose the apartment, but at least have that under my belt and have some structure, because with a job, you have more options, right? So maybe I can hire a lawyer. I can get a loan. I need to get that. So I was afraid that if I didn't get the court date, if it was sooner, I wouldn't have the opportunity to finish school and all that. So I would have been really screwed. So the judge granted me that. So now what happens now is there's something called disclosure. Now what that means is the Crown has to provide me with all the evidence they have in the case against me, so I can review it and give it to my lawyer, and we can make our case for our defense. Now what happened is they had nothing to present me at that time, which kind of made things kind of confusing for me, because that's what I was told would happen. So basically now what's going to happen is, after the date was set for the October 27th, I didn't receive any disclosure, which all the case the Crown has against me, it had nothing on file, nothing was ready, which does happen, apparently, from what I'm told, because of backlog and stuff like that, or whatever reasons they have on their end. So I was instructed to, after the date was set, to take my disclosure with me, if I had it, and then go speak to duty counsel afterwards, or duty counsel, apply for legal aid, to take the necessary steps. That's the time from your next court date. That's what you do at that time to properly prepare for your next court date. I'm not exactly 100% sure on the proceedings of that date, but one of them is I know for sure is that's where I'll enter my plea, and on that October 27th, I will. That'll be the date where they set the trial. So obviously there's going to be a trial because I'm fucking not guilty, right? So what happens now? I don't have this disclosure, this information from the Crown, so I had to submit a request so they make it a priority to send it to me. So once that's sent to me, if I get a certificate for legal aid, qualify for legal aid, I can call one of many lawyers here in Ottawa to represent me at no cost. If I don't qualify for legal aid, I do qualify for senior counsel, duty counsel to represent me because of because of the money I make off disability, which is nothing. So I do for sure qualify for that, but not for sure for legal aid. Either way, hopefully things go well. I get the disclosure mailed to me. Once I get that, hopefully, whether I get a legal aid certificate or not for legal aid or duty counsel, either way, once I get the disclosure, then I can fax that or send that or mail that to my lawyer at the time, and we'll be prepared for the 27th. So hopefully that explains to you guys what had happened in the last few days or so. On a funnier note, I'm going to tell them about the lightning in Thunder Bay. So we had a motel in Thunder Bay. This was the night before court. Actually, there's a funny thing that happened in court too. I'll tell you guys about that too. So we're sleeping in the motel room, and it started raining. All of a sudden, it starts like thundering really loud, like the motel was literally shaking. And my sister got really scared, and she's like, I'm out there on the balcony. Hey, Donna, you like superstorms? You like storms, right, Donna? Hey, you love watching the storms? Well, I'm the same way. You know, I love rain and thunder and lightning and just watching the storm happen. So I'm out on the veranda of the motel because it was a 2-story motel. And I'm out there just soaking up all this action, Lightning's going crazy, thunder's loud, cracking. Michelle's at the door. She's just like, oh my God. She's just like freaking out. I'm like, what are you scared of, She goes, we don't have storms like this in Barrie, So it was just funny to see my sister's reaction because she's such a strong, independent woman. So it was weird to see her in that state, So, yeah. So, the drunks in the courtroom, eh? That was the other one, yeah. So I didn't really pay no mind because it was during an information session. So the judge was giving us and other people in the courtroom, because we had to go up one at a time, because it was our first what's the word I'm looking for? First appearance. So I'm trying to listen to the judge's instructions so I can fully understand what's happening, because you all know how bad my comprehension, of listening and reading, whatever. So I'm trying to really focus on what he's saying, right? I did notice the two drunks. One guy had this big friggin' scrape on his face, looked like he got in a big fight or something like that. I sure do. I'm loving the story. So anyways, so I seen him outside the courtroom, but I didn't pay him too much mind because I was trying to focus on what I was doing. But I guess she was watching the whole time. So I guess during the information center, I guess they were cursing and swearing and then making a ruckus. Anyways, the police had to escort him out of the damn courtroom. And there was probably 3 or 4 people in the courtroom that the judge had to tell, or the bailiff had to tell them take their damn hat off, eh? And there are people in the courtroom that tell them again. I'm like, Jesus Christ, And my sister goes to me. She says, Scott, we have to get you some dress pants or whatever you want to look presentable for when you go to court. And I said, well, they're not gonna. This is gonna be based on facts, on how the way I look. So I just wore my black shirt, my jeans. I didn't wear my hat. Comb my hair. It was just so funny because Michelle had, was worrying about the way I was looking. And then we go to court, and you got people who take their hats off, people in ripped jeans, you know, like in jogging pants and sweatpants. Some of them look like they had pajamas on. You know, two people drunk, you know, so it's just, she was worried about me wearing dress pants, you know, and like, and you go to court and it's like people who just came from their job or their home, like, you know, they didn't, no one was dressed up at all. Everyone was in their bum clothes. I'm like, holy, like, I felt overdressed in a t-shirt and jeans. Better they get escorted than you. Yeah, I wasn't, there's no chance of me getting escorted. I was a good boy, yeah. So, yeah, but I really felt, got a light, Michelle? I really felt, you know, when that transport had the high beams on, it was like this missing piece, you know. I felt so complete when I seen the bright lights and he shut them off, you know. It was like, it was such a difference. I just felt like, you know, like you have a splinter in your mind, something's not finished, and you know something, you know, is weighing, not so much weighing on you, but you know, it's when you finally, you guys know what I'm talking about. I just felt so vindicated, I guess maybe is the word, that, you know, like I finally got the answers after, was the accident, March 27th, April, May, June, July, August. So like 5 months later, I finally got the missing piece to, you know, what had happened, you know, and it felt so good to have that. I don't even know how to explain it to you guys, but I think you guys probably understand or can relate. But it felt good, you know, because even if, you know, life's not fair, you know, I'm optimistic about what, you know, that everything will turn out with the court, and, you know, and I'll get dismissed and everything is fine. But life isn't fair, and there's a small chance that maybe I will get railroaded. Maybe, you know, I will lose my license and stuff like that. You know what? And you know what? If it happens, I'm fine with that, because now I know the truth. You know, it makes a big difference when, you know, and I can say, okay, well, at least I know that it wasn't my fault. At least I know I didn't fucking presumably kill myself. At least I know I wasn't fiddling with something and it caused me to get in an accident. At least now I know, like in here, that, okay, that's what happened. I know that's what happened. I feel good about it. And if life's not fair, throws me a shitball in court, I can live with that. I really can. As long as just knowing the truth, you know, after all this time is you know, is definitely what matters. So, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to... I think that's about it, guys. So next week I'll register for school, pay the school, get all the stuff I need for school, and start the following week, and hopefully graduate 3 weeks later, and be another step closer to our goals. You know, it's been a long road. You guys have been watching the videos, know the long road that it's been. So we still got some obstacles to do, especially for the rent and shit, you know, because like I said, the medical, getting approved for the medical took 3 months, and it should have took like 2 weeks. So that really set us back. You guys know that. So hopefully by the time I graduate and hopefully get a job, you know, when I go to the tribunal for rent, hopefully so I'll have some options open to me where I can keep my apartment, which I really, really like. My sister really likes the apartment too. So hopefully that'll all work out and I won't have to fucking sleep in my fucking truck, you know? So, yeah, so I think that's it, guys. So I wanted to just do that quick video for you. I couldn't wait to get to Ottawa. We just got off the road. We're still pretty wired, you know? So I want to do this video, get it under my hat, and let you guys know what happened with court. Maybe, so to anyone, you know, maybe that didn't understand fully what I just said about the court, you know, if you're in a position where you are going to court, you can go to the courthouse earlier, learn from my mistake, go to the courthouse earlier and request duty counsel. Just go to the information, they'll point you in the right direction when you get to courthouse, and do it ahead of time. If you can't afford a lawyer, go like don't wait till the last minute like I did to get duty counsel. I didn't know any better. I didn't know you could go ahead of time and get a lawyer, duty counsel to represent you. So if you're in a position where you're charged and you need to and you can't afford a lawyer, go to the courthouse right away, get duty counsel, get the ball rolling. You know, do that. Don't wait till the last minute like I did. Like I just didn't know. No one told me. So learn from my mistake. And then once you speak to duty counsel, they'll guide you the rest of the way. So I don't have to tell you anything else after that. But if you get charged and you can't afford a lawyer, get to the courthouse early. Speak to duty counsel. That's basically the lawyer representatives that can help you out. It's like legal aid, kind of. They're just lawyers that are there at the courthouse to help people who can't afford a lawyer. So make sure you get that done early. And then they'll guide you through the rest of it. Just like I was guided when I got there, you know, about the disclosure, the different court dates, you know, getting things remanded later so you can have time to work out your stuff. Like I'll be able to now, if everything goes well with disclosure and get my the lawyer and everything's on track. What that's going to enable me to do too is on the 27th, I won't have to make the trip up to Thunder Bay. Duty counsel will stand in for me. Just like I was telling you, if I could afford a lawyer, I wouldn't have made this trip. The lawyer would have stood in for me here the last couple of days. But on the 27th, I won't have to make this trip. I'll probably have to make the trip for the trial, which is fine because, you know, by that time, that'll probably be maybe in the new year. I'll be working and things will be more structured and I can have more options. So, yeah. So make sure you guys speak to duty counsel right away if you can't afford a lawyer. Because like I said, you guys, lawyers are really expensive. And I'll give you just an idea how expensive they are. Just let me see what Donna's got to say here. I'm checking. Okay, take care. Take care, Donna. So just to give you guys an idea, what if you were in, let's say, traffic offenses, you know, they can run from anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000. Now, if you have a serious offense like myself, where it falls under the criminal code, it can run anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. Just to give you guys a little information about the court process, because you know what happens to everybody. You know, life throws us curves, and you know, hopefully, me giving you this knowledge, you can pass on to a friend or keep it for yourself. You know, to give you some idea what you're getting into, costs, options available to you. So, you know, you have a little more information, because I couldn't find, like I spoke to a couple of lawyers and I got different things, you know, and there was no, they didn't give me proper direction. You know, they gave me little hints like, oh, okay, the hearing's going to be in 2 weeks. Oh, it's going to cost this much. But none of that helped me once I got to the damn courtroom, and it's a good thing I got there early so I could speak to someone. So hopefully that little bit of information will come. Hopefully will be helpful if that ever happens to you guys, where you know maybe you got a DUI or you got a high speed ticket. You know, you'll know how to handle that. And the yeah. So I think that's it. Is that it? Anything else I think we should say? Yeah, we had a great talk. I think we had a great talk on the way up. It was 2 more hours of St. Marie, 2 more hours to go to St. Marie, and we're just fighting. We're just like, you know, just dogging. So all of a sudden we just sparked up this, you know, great heart-to-heart conversation about life and relationships and family, and 2 hours just like flew right by. So that was really cool, right? Went by fast, eh? So I think that's about it, Knights. So I'm not sure when I'll do the next video. I think it'll probably be a while, guys. I would say probably maybe a month and a half. But the tribunal for rent, like I had a notice for rent and everything, but I don't think the actual tribunal, which is kind of like court for rent, won't happen until probably the second week of October. And by that time, I'll be graduated from school. So, and then I got the court at the end of October. Well, that whole process where I get the disclosure during the month, make sure to mail it to me. So, I'll probably do another video probably around November, guys. I know it's a while, but I really won't have anything really to say until then. Maybe if I have a new epiphany about life or a life lesson I could pass on, but I'm getting fewer and fewer of those lately, you know, because, you know, we're pretty good. We're pretty good. We're pretty good here. We're pretty good here. You know, so it'll probably be a while to our next video. So in the meantime, don't worry. For those of you who do worry or do follow it or do care about my well-being or whatever, you know, if you don't see a video for a month and a half, don't worry. I will do another one because I do want to put closure to this year and a half long story, you know, so I'll try. I want to keep going with this until I can tell you guys, you know, okay, we made it. You know, we actually made it. You know, we got through all this bullshit and we're structured, we're happy, we got a job, we're paying our bills, we got a smile on our face, you know, and hopefully I can do those videos until I get to that point with you guys, you know, because we all like a good ending, right? You know, so I want to keep these videos going at that. So like I said, don't worry if you don't see my video for, you know, a month and a half. You know, it's just explain to you guys what I'll be doing in that time. So yeah, so until I see you guys again, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Crown bless you all. Take care, guys.